Welcome back to the Explainer, everyone. Today, we are laser focusing on the ACCA BT syllabus. Specifically, we're looking at the fascinating and, let's be honest, sometimes completely frustrating world of organizational conflict. We're going to break all these concepts down into super bite-sized pieces so you are perfectly prepped and ready for your exam.
Okay, let's dive into this. We are using this explainer as a rapid-fire revision tool. And remember, the goal here isn't just mindlessly memorizing terms. It's about truly understanding these workplace dynamics, which is going to make those exam questions feel absolutely straightforward.
So, what exactly is conflict anyway? Well, it's a dynamic process. It kicks off the very second one party perceives that their interests, goals, or core values are being opposed or negatively affected by someone else. Basically, it happens when there's a serious divergence of interests in the workplace. You want one thing, a colleague wants something completely different, and boom, you've got friction.
Now, here is an absolutely crucial distinction for your exam. Not all conflict is actually a bad thing. There's functional conflict, which is super positive. It acts like a spark that stimulates innovation and actually improves team norms and performance. But on the flip side, we have dysfunctional conflict, and this is the negative, destructive stuff. This is what harms relationships, completely hinders communication, and just drags everyone's morale right down to the floor.
Section 1. Types of conflict. Who is clashing? Now, what's really interesting about this is how we break down the 4 primary levels of conflict that you need to know how to categorize.
First up, right at the individual level, we have intrapersonal conflict. Notice that A in intra, this happens entirely within yourself. It's that internal tension or struggle over a really tough choice. Then we have interpersonal conflict. This one is that classic clash between two different people. Think of a junior employee who's feeling totally underpaid and undervalued by their manager.
Zooming out a bit, we get into group dynamics. Intragroup conflict happens within one single team. Picture the internal drama you might see inside a small family-run business. And then there's intergroup conflict, which happens between entirely different teams or departments. A perfect textbook example is the sales department who wants to slash prices to push volume, clashing with the production department, who is fighting them tooth and nail over the budgets.
Section 2. Conflict resolution strategies. So, the crucial point is that managers actually have very specific tools at their disposal to handle these workplace clashes.
Let's look at the 5 key strategies you need to know. First is competing, which is essentially the enforcement of rules on uncooperative team members. Next is collaborating, which is a very direct approach, where both parties work together for a true win-win solution. Then we have compromising, and you can think of this as bargaining, where both sides give up a little something to reach an agreement. Then there's avoiding, which is basically a full retreat or withdrawal. And finally, accommodating, where one party gives in and de-emphasizes the issue just to maintain harmony.
Section 3. Deep dive. Conflict avoidance. We're going to direct our focus to this one specific strategy because it is highly tested on the exam.
So, I have to ask you, when is retreat or avoidance actually useful? When is ignoring a problem actually a good management technique? Because, surprisingly enough, ignoring or denying a conflict isn't always a bad thing, provided you are doing it strategically.
You see, avoidance, or even just denial, works beautifully if you just need to let people cool off when emotions are running high, or if you're dealing with really minor issues. But there's a huge limitation here. If you use it for major problems, like a severe lack of resources or massive role ambiguity, those issues are just going to fester and get worse. To truly prevent conflict from bubbling up in the first place, managers have to rely on clear communication, sharply defined roles, mutual respect, and lots of active listening.
Section 4. Final exam summary. Let's move to and see how this builds together into a consolidated picture for your final revision.
Take a quick mental snapshot of this table. Remember, conflict is simply a disagreement or divergence of interests. The 4 types of clashes are intrapersonal, intrapersonal, intragroup, and intragroup. And your 5 key resolution strategies to know inside and out are competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating. Map these specific keywords in your head, and you are going to absolutely ace this section.
And that wraps up this quick exam-focused explainer. Best of luck on your ACCA BT exam. You've totally got this. But remember, memorizing these textbook strategies for the exam is one thing. Actually applying them to real-life organizational teamwork is a whole different ballgame. So I'll leave you with this. How will you effectively manage your very next workplace conflict?